Hello everyone, welcome to our video. Today we explore animal car crashes you won't believe were real. Shocking moments where wildlife and vehicles collide in the most unbelievable ways.
A quad rally racer was involved in an accident when a cow suddenly ran onto the racetrack. In the middle of the night, a car crashed into a herd of cows crossing the highway. A livestock truck accident caused a herd of cattle to spill onto the road near I-435 and K-10. In South Carolina, a brave man rescues his family dog from a coyote.
A CBR rider was on his way home when he accidentally struck a raccoon. A car passed by, and everything happened too fast for the driver to react. Despite slamming on the brakes, the animal was badly injured, crawled to the roadside, and died shortly afterward. Dashcam footage captured a collision with a deer. Even after being hit and damaging the car, the deer surprisingly got back up and walked away. A police vehicle struck a deer, sending it flying over the hood before it landed on the roadside. Moments later, the deer stood up and ran straight into nearby bushes.
A herd of deer suddenly jumped onto the road and collided with a moving BMW 5 Series. captures the moment a mouse is released into the wild, only to be tragically run over by a passing car moments later. A car plowed straight through a flock of geese, killing one, injuring at least one more, and leaving the... Testing a new GoPro HD, the driver unexpectedly ran into trouble when a turkey... Moose on highways are extremely difficult to spot and move quickly, making
The deer was hit by a car and exploded. The impact was so strong that the deer shattered, creating a horrifying scene on the road. The deer was hit by an ATV. The force of the collision sent the deer flying, and the driver had to stop immediately to assess the situation. At night, at least one deer was unfortunately hit by a car while running in the outer lane. The kangaroo suddenly jumped into the windshield of a car at Litchfield National Park. The strong impact shattered the windshield, but luckily the driver wasn't injured. The dash cam of a Volkswagen captured the shocking moment it collided with a wild boar at night, when limited visibility made the accident unavoidable. It was a car accident involving a collision with a wild boar. A wallaby was hit by a vehicle not just once but twice, and the poor animal panicked and kept running back and forth, looking terrified and confused. While riding his CBR home, the driver unfortunately collided with a raccoon, leading to a heartbreaking situation. Lazarus has been treated with opazapranth. Thursday, a rare traffic incident unfolded on Farrington Road. A cow blocked the roadway, chased a man, rammed into a car, and met an unfortunate end. An injured goose with a damaged wing dropped beneath a moving car. Fortunately, the goose was not seriously hurt, and both the driver and vehicle were unharmed, though left shaken by the unexpected encounter. A Canada goose crossed the road at a red light crosswalk on University Avenue in Waterloo, nearly causing an accident when another car attempted to change lanes and had to stop suddenly, forcing the vehicle behind to brake hard. A driver was caught on camera running over a family of geese in a residential area in northwest Oklahoma City, resulting in the death of a gosling. The driver, traveling at about 70 km/h, hit a wild boar. The driver, traveling at 55 miles on Novorossiysk Island, unexpectedly hit a wild boar and left without a mudguard. A large herd of antelope suddenly appeared and rushed across the road, forcing the driver to slam on the brakes and swerve to avoid them. A massive Canadian moose crossed the highway and nearly got hit by a heavy-duty truck, narrowly avoiding a serious accident. Driving on this road at night is extremely dangerous. A moose suddenly appeared in the darkness on Route 11 in northern Maine. A deer was struck by a Volkswagen Beetle and was launched nearly 50 feet into the air. The deer suddenly jumped into the roadway. The driver narrowly avoided the collision, while the vehicle traveling alongside had no time to react.
A rare incident occurs when Princess Merida's horse becomes tangled in balloons during a parade at Disney World's Magic Kingdom.
What's that? Look!
Vehicle from the opposite direction flashed its lights, alerting the driver and preventing a serious accident. Just outside Bakersfield, a bear is struck by a vehicle on State Route 58. The entire incident is captured on dashcam footage. A vehicle collides with a bear as it tries to dart across the road. A bear was struck on State Route 58 near Bakersfield, captured by a dash cam. The bear jumped from the median on US 60 and collided with the rear side of a moving pickup truck. On a highway in Toronto, a mother duck and her ducklings carefully weave through heavy traffic to cross safely. An aggressive old ram suddenly charged at an off-road vehicle and attacked the driver with remarkable strength. A squirrel suddenly darted across the road, narrowly avoiding a collision with a motorcycle.
Right crest 60.
A heart-stopping moment as a rally driver narrowly avoids colliding with a deer on the race course.
Short. Ой, кто нахуй, блядь? 532 short.
A coyote suddenly darts out and crashes straight into the car. Dashcam footage captures a moose crossing the highway in the rain, being struck by a vehicle and thrown into another car. moment when a car collides with a sheep on the road, creating a sudden and dangerous situation.
Whenever animals give them the right-of-way to cross. The driver hit a goat, tearing the front bumper of his truck, but continued driving as if nothing had happened. A car was traveling along a road when a kangaroo suddenly burst out of the bushes and jumped straight into the windshield. The impact completely shattered the glass on the driver's side, leaving the driver unable to see clearly ahead. An unexpected situation unfolded when a moving car suddenly encountered two kangaroos crossing the road. Unfortunately, one of them was struck by the vehicle.
While the vehicle was moving, a seagull took off too slowly and collided with the car. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 9 collided with a seagull at a speed of 180 km/h. During the Indy 500 test practice session, driver Fernando Alonso accidentally collided. The animal stood in the middle of the road, challenging the driver, and the collision proved the moment the snake gets electrocuted. This poor bat met its demise after being electrocuted by a power line. Even after that, Elephants are known for being intelligent animals, but just how smart are they? Elephants realize that their tusks do not conduct electricity. The vehicle traveling ahead of us struck a bear while heading south on Interstate 5 near the Mount Shasta National Forest. A logging truck lost its brakes and plowed straight through a herd of cows. The vehicle collided with a stray cow in a remote area. They stopped to assess the situation, but there was nothing more they could do and were forced to continue their journey. A rare incident occurred when a truck carrying 400 sheep overturned on a curve, sending the flock tumbling onto the highway below like rain falling from the sky, leaving drivers utterly stunned.
A driver traveling at around 70 kilometers per hour suddenly collided with a wild boar. Collisions between vehicles and moose can happen in an instant. Moose often appear suddenly on highways, are difficult to spot, and move quickly, leaving drivers almost no time to react. A car stopped to let a group of ducks cross the road, but another driver ignored the danger, deliberately accelerated, plowed through the ducks, and fled the scene. This reckless act is considered extremely dangerous and deeply condemnable. A bison standing in the middle of the road forces vehicles to stop. When another emerges from the valley, an unexpected collision occurs. After striking a deer, the female driver pulls over to assess the situation. Suddenly, the deer attempts to climb inside the vehicle. The car is traveling at around 70 kilometers per hour when it collides with a wild boar. The impact sends the animal flying into a roadside ditch, but it soon gets back up and escapes into the forest. Large eastern brown snake, despite being run over and having part of its body badly crushed, continues to fight on. The incident occurred after the snake was hit by a car while crossing the road. No one knows what this lucky snake was thinking. The driver passed right over it, but somehow never struck or ran over its body. While driving passengers home and chatting casually, the driver suddenly encounters a family of raccoons directly in front of the car. Unfortunately, everything happens too fast to brake or avoid them completely. On the way to work, this person stops to help a badly injured badger, likely just hit by a vehicle. Without that timely intervention, the animal might have been run over by someone else. A fox was hit on the road when it unexpectedly darted in front of the car. The fox was struck by a Porsche Cayman S. After the impact, the fox was thrown off the road while the car came to a stop. Luckily, there was no major damage to the car, but it serves as a reminder of the unexpected nature of wildlife on the road. An elephant narrowly avoids being hit as it slowly crosses the road, just as a truck comes speeding toward it at extremely high speed. Mother and daughter drove straight into a flock of birds on a deserted highway, mistakenly believing the birds would have time to fly away. The impact killed many of them, with feathers splattering across the windshield. A bird is struck by a vehicle in a dramatic collision. Birds always seem to dodge danger until they don't.
Bird.
With a car tailgating closely behind and no time to change lanes, the driver is forced to keep going, causing the bird to slam into the windshield. The driver had no intention of hitting the deer as it was thrown into the air. A snake was crossing the road when it was suddenly run over by a passing vehicle. Driving on rural Australian roads is always dangerous, and an unexpected collision with a kangaroo occurred. The kangaroo slipped and nearly put itself in a life-threatening situation. Luckily, it survived. The vehicle ahead struck a turkey near Patoka Reservoir. A pigeon crashed into a car.
You're right. It just happened.
A semi-truck collided with a deer at 62 miles. A man was driving with his wife and daughter on a dark mountain road when they collided with a wild elephant that suddenly appeared. Fortunately, the entire family was unharmed and the elephant also survived.
Someone's morning was completely thrown into chaos when a wild boar crossed the road and was struck by a car, a troublesome start to the day. The video captured a horrifying moment when a horse crashed through a car's windshield, and people nearby struggled desperately to rescue the animal from the vehicle. An unimaginable accident occurred when a horse-drawn carriage was struck by a car right on the road, leaving witnesses in complete shock. A tragic moment occurred when a fox was struck by a car on the road.
The vehicle ahead strikes a wild turkey while traveling near the Patoka Reservoir area. The sudden movement of a herd of goats nearly causes a serious collision. Thanks to quick braking, the accident is avoided, no goats are injured, and the vehicle remains undamaged. The moment a cow crosses the road at the worst possible time, leading to a severe collision, a rally race car crashes into a cow.
In the video clip, a calf is seen trying to get through the electric fence to reach its mother. During this, it gets an electric. Black bear gets shocked by the UDAP Bear Shock electric fence while trying to approach the food storage area. After the first jump, an electric shock. A sea otter narrowly avoided being hit by a car while crossing Moss Landing Road in Moss Landing. During the endless miles journey, the driver encounters a flock of ducks crossing the road. Everyone remains safe, and none of the ducks are struck by the vehicle. Security camera footage captures a panicked wild boar overwhelmed by traffic, charging straight through a gate, completely knocking it down. A herd of deer is struck by a train despite desperately fleeing the track. A fatal mistake leads a deer to attempt crossing the tracks as a train approaches at high. Dashcam video captures a bear running across Highway 19 North and being struck by a minivan traveling at approximately 130 km range. A raccoon comes into contact with the electric fence. Crazy Pig makes a dramatic escape, straight out of an action movie. The bear continuously tries to break into the chicken coop, causing damage to the door and part of the wire mesh. A car plowed straight through a flock of geese, killing one, injuring at least one more, and leaving the rest in danger as traffic continued approaching. Just in time, a motorcyclist stopped to help rescue them.
The vehicle was traveling at around 70 km/h when it struck a wild boar. A wild boar collision occurred on the highway at night. A car collided with a wild boar that burst out of the bushes on Seletar North Lake. A moose suddenly ran onto the road and crashed into a car. A raccoon unexpectedly darted into the roadway and was run over by a passing vehicle. A camel suddenly burst out from the roadside and nearly collided with a car, but fortunately the driver managed to swerve in time to avoid it. On the drive home, the driver hit a wallaby. The deer luckily survived after colliding with the motorcycle. Even though it crossed at the wrong moment, both the deer and the rider were unharmed. Just outside Bakersfield, a bear was hit by a car on State Route 58. The entire incident was captured on dashcam. A car collided with a bear as it tried to sprint across the road. The car collided with a raccoon. The rider stayed alert and managed to hit the manual brakes just before impact, but the glare from oncoming headlights made it extremely hard to see the deer. Dashcam footage recorded the moment an Isanti County deputy struck a deer while responding to an emergency call. A deer suddenly leaped into a man riding a motorcycle, knocking him dizzy and briefly unconscious, but fortunately he was okay with only minor pain. An unbelievable situation.
While driving from Carson City to Bishop after the Kit Carson All-Star event, a mountain lion suddenly lunged toward the vehicle. A mother duck was leading her ducklings across the road as many vehicles stopped to give way. A playful panda slips while climbing a tree and gets its body stuck on a branch. It takes quite some time before the panda manages to pull. A car drove straight into a flock of geese, killing and injuring several and forcing the remaining birds into danger amid moving traffic. At that critical moment, a brave biker appeared and stepped in just in time to rescue and protect the flock of geese.
plowed into a herd of bighorn sheep in Jasper National Park. The impact put the entire herd at risk, with several animals being struck.
Action. Now, oh.
On a highway, a car attempted to overtake when the vehicle ahead suddenly slowed down and changed lanes. The driver had to brake hard and realized the car in front had struck a free-roaming cow, spinning it a full 360 degrees before it collapsed onto the road. On what seemed like a normal day in Thailand, a wild elephant suddenly became agitated by passing traffic. Unfortunately for one driver, he became the target of the giant's brief but aggressive outburst. A vehicle hit a badger at 63. The car suffered severe damage to the lower front end and radiator, forcing it into emergency mode. Toronto is home to countless raccoons, cute to look at, but potentially dangerous. This clip captures a close call with a raccoon that was narrowly avoided. Bird collided with a motorcyclist's helmet. Cleveland police reported that 2 mounted police horses broke free during routine care and ran onto Interstate 90. You've just watched Shocking. 45 animal car crashes you won't believe were real. What do you think about these incidents? Which clip stayed in your mind? Comment below and see you next time